For those of you who are not aware of who this police officer is, this is Police Chief Kerr Putney. He's the police chief of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg area in North Carolina. This man reminds me of another sheriff in a different part of the country. That sheriff's name is Sheriff David Clarke of Milwaukee County. Why do I draw the comparison between the two? Because based on Mr. Putney's comments today, I absolutely think that he is not operating with full disclosure and in the interest of the public. I'm going to play clips of the news conference that was held this morning and make my comments regarding each particular point that I think is relevant as far as his actions and the actions of the police officers are concerned.
We're going to release it. Ultimately, as I said before, our practice has been not to release, but to allow for the party who feels they've been mistreated in any way to see that. A request has come our way to do just that, and we're going to honor that request. But there are other things that are going on too about, just to be quite frank with you, whether there's going to be an outside investigation. And at that point, it would halt what we're doing moving forward as far as releasing anything. So right now, what we're going to do is honor a request that has been made with the family, because it's still in my purview to do so. But beyond that, it'll be much more collaborative in what I can release. No, sir. I'm saying they made a request to see it, and we're looking to accommodate that request.
Okay, so he just changed because he said that they were going to release the video, and now he just changed to allowing the family to view the video, but not to release it. Now, with all the stuff that's going on down in North Carolina, in Charlotte, there are a lot of things being said about what happened. And this particular video would clear a whole lot of those things up. Now, normally, if there's something that supports the police position, they want to get it out there as soon as possible. But it's only when a video does not support their position, now all of a sudden they will try to hide behind the law in not releasing the video. And that's what's going on right here. As he stated himself, he has the authority to release that video. He can do that. Now, there's a law that's coming into place that's, in my opinion, going to make it harder for videos to be released. And that law was put through by the Republican governor and legislature. That being said, at this moment, that video can be released. Now, another thing that I wanted to say is the mayor has stated that she hasn't seen the video. In my opinion, she was told that she did not want to see that video because there's something in that video that's damning. And it reminds me of the situation in Chicago on the Laquan McDonald video that Mayor Rahm Emanuel claimed that he hadn't seen. And in that case also, I believe that he was told that he did not want to see that video. So he didn't see it. Because the video straight out in Chicago proved that the police were lying. And I'm wondering if this video as well is going to prove that the police were lying as far as their position about being in deadly peril for their lives. Anyway, let me continue with the various clips. And I'm going to jump from clip to clip.
Well, my question is, if it shows the police wouldn't that have possibly quelled some violence that's been suspected in the last
Now, I know that's hard to hear, but what the reporter asked was, if the video shows what they claim it shows, wouldn't it help to quell the violence? And here's his response.
To think that, but I can tell you this. As I said yesterday, there's your truth, my truth, and the truth. Some people have already made up their minds what happened. We've given multiple facts, and there'll be an update later this afternoon about more additional information we're getting. But that still doesn't change the mindset and the perspective of some who want to break the law and tear down our city. So if there is compelling information that I think helps, we'll show it. But again, I'm going to be very intentional about protecting the integrity of the investigation, and in so doing, I'm not going to release the video
with other cities
right now. Okay, sure.
So we're going to stop.
Sure.
Sir, he's answering your question.
Well, what I can tell you is we release it when we believe it is a compelling reason, but I'm not going to jeopardize the investigation. And right now, even though we're investigating, we probably won't be long term, because a request has also been made that an objective party, the SBI, move forward in the investigation. So,
all right, let me stop it right there. First things first. There is a compelling reason to release the video. That is to basically stem the violence that's occurring in the city of Charlotte. The second thing that I want to bring out is he said that he would release the video if he thought it would help. Well, apparently that video is not going to help. It's not going to answer, any of the questions in their favor. So he's not going to be willing to release that video. Now remember, he said there's your truth, my truth, and the truth. Well, that video is going to help to substantiate somebody's truth, but as far as he's concerned, he wants to fall back to the age-old adage of protecting the integrity of the investigation. Releasing the video is not going to damage the integrity of the investigation. It's just going to allow the public more information so that they can make a more informed decision and possibly stop, a bunch of this rioting. Now, if the video goes the other way, obviously people are going to go crazy if they see that the police acted in an untoward manner towards this man in killing him, and that obviously could create more riots. So he's protecting something. Exactly what it is, we don't know. Now, I've been following this, and he made mention about the FBI opening an investigation, and he is going to put it on the FBI to release the video. I want to know, when did they open the investigation, because this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
I'm not going to release anything that would be
right
on somebody else to release, sir.
Next question right
Yes.
here.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Disappointed at how you handled the rollout last night of the protest. So the question is, why did you allow this to the point that you did last night?
Well,
All right, that was a question about how he handled the rollout of the police last night. I'm going to skip to the next question regarding the shooting. All right, now he's going to give us a definition of disclosure versus release.
there's a difference between disclosure, allowing someone to see it, and that would be the party who feels they've been aggrieved. That's what I'm going to do. But release would be to the masses, and that's what I'm not going to do.
What's the video show?
Hang on.
Sure. What I can tell you that I saw, and I was very clear when I talked about this before, is the video does not give me absolute, definitive visual evidence that that would confirm that a person is pointing a gun. I did not see that in the videos that I've reviewed.
All right, so he just told us that the gun that that gentleman was holding was not pointed at the police. That is a problem. That is a big problem. And now he's starting to throw out words like absolute. There's no such thing as absolute. You could have been standing there witnessing the whole thing, but missed several details regarding the confrontation between the police officers and Mr. Scott. So your memory is not going to be absolute. What you see is not going to be absolute because you can't see everything. But he wants to fall back on the absoluteness. That's not a word, I just made it up. But he wants to fall back on the ability to be absolutely sure of everything that he saw in order to come to a conclusion that his officers acted properly, or to come to a conclusion that Mr. Scott acted improperly. That's just not going to happen.
So what I can tell you, though, is when taken in the totality of all the other evidence, it supports what we've heard and the version of the truth that we gave about the circumstances that happened that led to the death of Mr. Scott.
See, and anybody can say that, but we need to see what you saw in order to come to the same conclusion that you came to. But based on your refusal to release the video, that's not going to happen, and that's why people are going to continue to be pissed off.
Again, this designation allows for that. I don't intend to use it unless it becomes an issue and we need to clear the streets sooner.
All right, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but I'm not going to put all the effort I need to keep this as clean as possible, so you're just going to have to bear with me. This next question has to do with transparency, and obviously there isn't any because he's not releasing the video. Okay, so that reporter was saying, on the one hand, you claim that you're going to have full transparency, but on the other hand, you're not releasing the video. So which one is it? You know, are you going to be transparent or not?
Appreciate your passion, but I never said full transparency. I said transparent.
Full transparency? Normally, it's either transparency or not transparency. So now he's going to try to, well, he is splitting hairs by saying that he never suggested that he was going to provide full transparency.
And transparency is in the eye of the beholder. I can tell you the party right now, who really is my priority in honoring their request, is the people who really are the victims of the shooting. So what I'm going to do is honor that request, and I'm going to tell you, if you think I say we should display a victim's worst day for public consumption, that is not the transparency I'm speaking of, sir.
Hang on. Question right here. Question right here.
Okay, so, and that's a bunch of bullshit, because Mr. Scott obviously was the victim of the shooting, but what about the victims of the rioting? What about the people who've had their businesses looted, robbed? What about the burning of businesses, buildings, and cars? Those are victims too. And they're victims because of the events that occurred in Mr. Scott's death. There's a straight line through all of them. So they're victims, so they should have the right to see the video as well. They are the public, so the public has a right to know. They have a right to see this video.
What's your reaction to this? Just so to the officer. It's a very short clip, but that's what we saw. I'd like to get your reaction to that, and also when can we expect the video to be released?
When can you expect it to believe? You shouldn't expect it to be released. As far as my reaction to it, I will be updating based on new facts that we have. You'll get that update later on today. I'm not ready to give that yet because there's still a lot of questions that I have and a lot of information that needs to be vetted first. Thank you.
All right, he was just asked to comment on the Fraternal Order of Police Union, who has already seen the video. They've seen this video before the family's seen the video. And they commented about the video to CNN, as well as regarding the gun and an ankle holster. That information obviously is out there, and he's refusing to comment on it. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is bullshit. This guy is covering something, and we just don't know exactly what it is. Now, whether he's trying to cover the officer's ass that shot that man, that's really what I'm thinking is going on here. Because I think if that video is released and we see what went down, not from the officer's perspective, because he apparently wasn't wearing a body cam, but from the perspective of the other 3 uniformed officers, we'll get a third-party perspective. So we should be able to arrive at a decision for ourselves. The fact that the mayor hasn't seen this video is a travesty. As I stated before, see Chicago, Rahm Emanuel pulled the same bullshit. And like I said, I believe that he was told that he didn't want to see that video. And I believe that the mayor of Charlotte was also told the same thing, because that video is probably damning as far as the police are concerned. My final thought on this is that this police chief, again, reminds me of Sheriff David Clarke. I have called Sheriff David Clarke a super coon, and the more this police chief makes comments regarding this situation and his overzealous protection of releasing these videos that will either inflame the residents of Charlotte or calm the residents of Charlotte. We need to see the damn video.